Welcome to Dinger Diary. This is the stupendous and excellent episode number 4. Let me warn you, today's episode is rated PG-13, and it's a bit longer than usual, but it's worth it. So put the kids to bed, turn up the volume, and let's get into some shit talking. My oldest son, who's now 26 years old, was going into high school. He was going to play at a very highly rated national and state championship baseball team who had a reputation of winning, and we could not wait. Early in the school year, we had our first parent meeting. The host introduced the coach, who suddenly appeared out of nowhere like an angel in the night. The head coach looked out at the crowd of parents, and he started with this statement: "I love coaching baseball, but I hate dealing with the parents." He explained that over the years, his poor wife has sat in the bleachers and overheard all the parents shit-talking about her husband, his coaching staff, and about his players. He proceeds to tell us he has implemented a rule that no parents are ever allowed past the locked gate to watch practice. Parents are not ever allowed to approach him to talk about playing time. And any parent who talks shit is a cancer, and all cancer should be eradicated. And if you don't like it, do not stay at another minute of this meeting, and take your kid with you. Now, at this point, I'd probably been coaching baseball for almost 10 years. And I wanted to really stand up and give this coach a standing ovation. But I could see the horror on all the other parents' faces. And so I knew this was not the right time for celebration. When the meeting was over, all of us parents migrated out into the parking lot. And there was all this banter between the parents about the meeting topics and the coach. And some of the parents were actually talking about taking their kids out of the program. We hadn't even had our first practice yet. What the coach was saying is what I knew all along. The parents could be the worst part of baseball, and everybody was a shit talker. Shit talking can come in many forms, both perceived and real. If you talk in a constructive way about a player on your kid's team, that parent may accuse you of shit talking. That's perceived. If you tell a friend that your kid's coach needs to wear a dunce cap and is absolutely terrible because your kid is batting ninth, that is real. There is so much shit talking in youth baseball that I actually started writing a reality TV show called The Real Baseball Dads of Broward County. It would be a huge hit because all we would feature would be dads, coaches, and players shit talking about other dads, coaches, and players. You would not be able to turn the TV off. We are all guilty of shit talking. I am guilty of it, and so are you. Parents shit talk about the coaches. Coaches should talk about the parents. Parents should talk about the 8-year-olds. And coaches should talk about 9-year-olds. It's one big shit talk fest. This is how it's always been. And this is how it's always going to be. So, if you don't like shit talking, you are not going to like travel ball. However, if you live, eat, and breathe shit talking, you are going to love travel ball baseball. And there's a ton of other shit talkers to make friends with. Now, here comes the public service announcement that all you shit talkers need to hear. You'll thank me later. Parents, every single solitary thing you say about the coach gets back to the coach. Everything you say about the players gets back to the parents of those players. Nothing that you say is a secret. Nothing is confidential. And just like in a court of law, everything you say can and will be used against you. The baseball community is a small world. It's so small that the only people in the world that care about the baseball community is us. As a matter of fact, most of your friends and much of your family think you are absolutely nuts to travel like we travel, to pay the fees that we pay, and spend this much time in the travel baseball world. So shit talking doesn't need to travel very far before everyone knows who the shit talkers are. So where does shit talking start? Well, if you're a travel ball shit talker and you're really good at it, you've probably been a good shit talker your whole life. But for most of us, it begins when you as a parent shine a light on your son and that light gets dimmed by another adult, specifically a coach. Let me give you an example. Most travel baseball parents think their son is a shortstop. This is the position they played in rec baseball, and by God, he is a shortstop. But remember, in travel baseball, every kid on the team is a shortstop. Just ask the other parents. The light begins to fade when little Johnny gets moved to second base or the outfield, God forbid. This is where the shit talking begins. The coach doesn't know baseball. The coach never played past Little League. The coach is playing daddy ball. The coach has favorites and he hates my kid. The parental shit talking gets back to the coach, who then starts shit talking about that parent. And a vicious cycle begins, and the shit talking wildfire explodes, and your team is doomed. Some of the worst shit talkers are the parents and daddy ball coaches who talk about each other on the ride home from the field while their kid is sitting in the back seat listening to every word. This gives your kid a unique perspective that they would not have without your shit talking. Now the well has officially been poisoned. Yes, your kids are listening even when you're shit talking to other parents, and they are repeating the words that come out of your mouth because you are their hero and every word you speak is law. Hey, shit talkers, do you believe you have a confidant in one or two of those other parents on the team? Parents that would never tell your shit talking secrets? Are you ready for this? You don't. The parents you think you can trust many times are not the best people to keep your shit talking secrets. Other parents are going to try to align themselves with the coach in the hopes of putting their son in the best light with that coach. The best way to do this is to put you in a bad light, removing one of the obstacles for their kid to play shortstop. At some point, every canary sings. When I was growing up, I had an acquaintance who is the meanest, nastiest son of a bitch in our trailer park. He had his hands in most of the criminal activities in the entire neighborhood. This was the last person in my life that I ever thought would give up any of his criminal associates or any details of his criminal empire. Well, lo and behold, like most criminals, his time was up and his trailer was raided by SWAT. While he was being questioned in the back of a police car outside his home, he had already ratted out most of his criminal partners, and he actually drew the police a map where he had buried money in his mother's backyard. Now, I'm not comparing travel ball shit talkers to criminals, but my point is if this lifelong hardened criminal can sing before he left his driveway, you better believe your parent confidant will probably throw your shit talking ass under the bus. Who do you trust? I've always tried to draft parents as much as the player. If you're a parent who's a shit talker, your coach knows it, other coaches know it, other parents know it, other kids know it, your kid knows it, and his teammates know it. So don't let the storm you create be the tornado that blows away your kid's dreams. Be sure to click on the subscribe button on YouTube and the follow button on Instagram. Tell your shit-talking friends about us and be sure to share all of our posts. That's all for now. I'll see you next time on Dinger Diary.